Om. 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 Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyani Niradam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Samacharana Saroja Sandra Nilambodabham Jakana Nihida Panim Mandanam Mandananam Taruna Tulasimala Kantaram Kanchanetram Sadaya Dhavalahasam Vittalan Chindayami Vittalan Chindayami. 541. The rules of conduct have no business because these devotees are pure already. The study of yoga, having no support of anybody, becomes a dying patient. And as soon as there is the din of beat music in the kirtana, the Lord Sri Krishna wipes out all the defects of these devotees. 542. When all the musical noise of the program of Kirtan starts, joy pervades everything. The Lord Vishnu starts nodding in joy, and the Lord Shankar begins to dance in ecstasy. 543. In this way, the Kirtan gives great satisfaction to the mind. This is the royal road of devotion on which the Lord Himself protects us.
Okay, thank you.
544. The Lord holds his chakra in his hand and asks the saint, "What business have you got here? Though I have no enmity towards anybody, I punish with my weapon those who hate my devotees." 545. I crush the pride with my chakra. My mace kills the attachment and allurement. I awaken with my conch the self-knowledge, and I worship my devotees with my lotus flower. 546. There is no trace of fear, suffering in this life, where the Lord is protecting the devotee who is joyfully singing in praise of the Lord, the wielder of Sudarshana. 547. Those who are not able to listen to the story of Lord Krishna or to sing in praise of the Lord because of certain reasons may remember the names such as Rama, Krishna, and Govinda. 548. The name Achyuta is so powerful that if one continuously takes this name loudly, it is impossible for him to be the Chuda, which means fallen. Those who recite this name are virtually the incarnations of Achyuta. 549. All the sacred places of pilgrimage and great gods come to bow before those devotees who repeat the name of Rama and Krishna by their speech. 550. The power of the name of God is such that Yama, the death god, desires to put the dust of his feet on his hand because the four-armed Sri Krishna is always standing near his name. 551. The fear of worldly life is nothing as compared to the power of this name. Has the death any face to dare stand in front of Hari's name? 552. The power of name is so vast that the sin throughout the three worlds is lesser than that. O King Janaka, please bear in mind that all the four types of liberations are related to God's name. 553. O King, know it definitely that there is absolutely no other path or method to go towards God except the name. 554. Even a poor man of no qualities can be emancipated by taking the name of God and listening to the God stories, including his birth, adventures, and virtues. Therefore, the knowledgeable people always declared that the play, the enjoyments, etc. of Hari are always helpful. 555. Those who are inwardly saturated with great feeling of devotion have no pride of their knowledge. They throw away the net of I and mine and live on the face of this earth singing in praise of God. 556. By listening to the stories of Sri Hari and remembering them in our heart, increase our devotion and love, and the devotee is not affected by the notion that he is the physical body. O king, I tell you about that state also.
एवं व्रतस्वप्रियनामकीर्त्या जातानुरागोदुतचित्त उच्चैः हसत्यथो रोदितिरौति गायति उन्मादवं नृत्यति लोकबाह्यः.
Meaning of the verse. Thus, being in love with the name which is so dear to him, the devotee recites the song of fame of God, and becoming soft of heart, loudly laughs, cries, sobs, sings, dances like a madman, and behaves in abnormal manner out of the social customs. 557. If a person likes these things while in his waking state, and his love for God extends into his dream state also, then he should be taken as confirmed devotee. 558. Now, as his determination about surrendering to God becomes more and more firm, his heart becomes very soft, and he has great love for the life and adventures of the incarnated God. 559. By constantly loving the Lord Sri Krishna, who is the most beloved Atman, the devotee feels extremely glad in singing to the victory of God's adventures, and God himself becomes manifest in his heart, and even around the devotee, God's presence is felt. 560. For example, there is a calamity and there is estrangement between the mother and child, and both are lost to each other. And suppose after a long time, suddenly they meet each other. That son will cry out of joy, embrace his mother, and will start sobbing. 561. Similarly, in the street of devotion, when the Jiva and Shiva meet, and when there is realization of the unity, there is uncontrollable crying. 562. The Paramatman is embraced, and there is extreme ecstasy, and the person cries profusely, and there are goose pimples all over the body because of love. 563. Suddenly he laughs at himself and says, "Oh, I am within myself. To say that I was lost and I have met is my own madness." So saying, he laughs and laughs. 564. I am everywhere, continuously without break. I am without beginning because there is no duality. I am as I am undisturbed, unborn, not dead. I was thinking that I was born, etc., but that was my madness. So saying, he nods and sways and begins to laugh at himself. 565. It is like a man who runs away fearing that a rope is a snake and even falls while running. But when he recognizes the rope, he begins to laugh. 566. Similarly, when his life in the world is totally unreal, and to think that I am the body is wrong. I felt attachment and pride, which was all a foolishness. He realizes this and laughs. 567. Great is the advice given by my Guru. It has become a liberating factor. Now, though I am in the body, I am free of it. He shouts joyously, having this experience. 568. He says to himself, blessed is the devotion to God, which has turned all the four types of liberation as worthless. It is now certain that I am the Paramatman. With these utterings, at the top of his voice, he fills all the three words. 569. Blessed is the name of God. That name has made me desireless. The concept of earthly life has turned out to be totally false. He shouts like this again and again. 570. He says loudly, oh, there is nothing else in the universe. Whatever I see, I am myself. I am alone that I am. He shouts like this again and again. 571. He shouts, the most difficult bondage of the samsara has become false. And he shouts in praise of his Sadguru. 572. Oh, listen, this worldly life is a mirage. It is totally false. The birth and death. Time and death have been wiped out. He shouts like this. 573. He gives slogans like these again and again, calls imaginary people to see the greatness of Atman, sings in the happiest mood and moves in that ecstasy. 574. A lady is telling the sweet experiences she has in her married life, and she never feels that she has talked enough. Similarly, when he starts to sing in the happy experience of the God, he does not feel it enough. 575. When a listener who is having knowledge of these things hears this, he also becomes happy, and the seeker is full of emotion, and when he hears this song. 576. This devotee is so full of self-joy that he cannot contain the elation, and he dances in the overwhelming emotion. 577. He has no sense of duality, no awkward feeling about public opinion, and in the natural gladness without any sense of pride in himself, he sings and dances. 578. A man who purchases wine and drinks it also dances being out of himself. Then how can a man who has taken the juice of the joy in Brahman be within himself? 579. So being under the influence of the joy in Brahman, he dances like a madman. People actually call him insane, but even scholars cannot recognize the secret of self-realization. 580. O king, this man does not see any other social manners except the God himself and his relationship with the God. Please listen to the description of his state of mind.
वायुमग्निं सलिलं महीं च ज्योतिषं सत्त्वानि दिशो द्रुमादीन् सरित्समुद्रांश्च हरेः शरीरं यत्किञ्च भूतं प्रणमेदनन्यः.
Meaning of the words: the sky, the air, the fire, the water, the earth, the stars, the animals, the directions, the trees, etc., the rivers, the seas, thinking that whatever may be the being, it is Hari's body, he should bow before it with one pointed finger. 581. The more he sees the world around him in the ecstasy of self-joy and the bliss of Brahman, the whole world appears to him to be full of joy and echoing and re-echoing with the din of the universal celebrations of joy. 582. All the five elements, that is, the earth, the water, the light, the wind, and the sky appear to him as Hari only. He sees the various inherent intelligences in all the beings and the elements as undivided and unified existence. 583. O King Parikshita, as the banana tree has not to collect any material in order to grow on it, the leaves and fruit, etc., the Parabrahman itself becomes manifest in the form of living beings and physical material without borrowing anything separately. 584. Taking another example, we may see how on the crystal wall, if various pictures of elephants, horses, army are carved, They appear beautifully brilliant by the light shining within. 585. Similarly, the brilliance of the sun, the moon, the stars, and the light in the eyes of various creatures is shining because of the light of the flame of Atman inside them. 586. It may be said that just as the fireworks, when ignited, make the embers of fire look like flowers, so the Brahman appears brilliant in the form of the sun, the moon, and the stars. 587. The earth is having the quality of smell, but that smell is evident in kasturi, etc. articles. Similarly, the power of Almighty God is all pervading, but is more evident in persons of sattva quality. 588. Therefore, you should understand that sattva, which is essentially in the people of pious nature, is the principle of godliness, and because of that quality, they are easily identified with the God. 589. There are 4 oceans on the earth, and there are 4 directions, but wise people call them as the body of God. 590. East, west, etc. are various directions, which are also constituents of the body of God. It is the Lord Sriran ruling in these directions. 591. Thus, the devotee looks at the grass, dharba, creepers, trees, etc., and says that these must be the hair of the body of the God. But though Hari is equally present in our body and other bodies, a person who does not have any understanding perceives these things as separate. 592. If we count our fingers, they are evidently separate, and they are united at their roots with our palm. 593. Similarly, for that devotee, everything like the forest, the creepers, the grass, etc., is only Hari's appearance and is one united whole. 594. He thinks that the white creepers, the bushes, or the little grass like Dhurva are the whole line of hair growing on the body of Hari, and says that because of the indwelling Hari, they look beautiful. 595. As the pseudo roots on the branches of banyan tree grow separately and are hanging, they are grown from the tree itself, and we cannot say that they have lost their unity with that tree. 596. Similarly, from one spirit, all the beings like rivers flowing from one source, and they cannot be said to be away from the essential spirit. 597. In the moon herself, her nectar is impregnated as inseparable nature. Similarly, the universe is in the God, and it is so realized by devotion only. 598. The devotee feels great enthusiasm while looking at everything in the world as a form of God. He experiences that God has, in his own play, taken the role of all those beings. 599. Therefore, he becomes so lenient to every being that one may say that he has become like a salt in water, one with that being. 600. He looks with respect at an ant and offers salutations and bows down with respect even to a fly, believing it to be God's another form. 601. There may be a cow or a donkey, a chandala, low caste man, or a dog. He surrenders to them, thinking them to be God. 602. He thinks that the stone is Hari. The grass from him is also the God. He bows before it. Both the animate and inanimate are for him spirit only, and he prostrates before them. 603. If you ask how much benefit is derived by remembering the name of Hari, O King, please listen to the secret of it. 604. Now please know that when a man is all the time having a conviction that spiritually all existence is one, and who constantly worships God or listens or remembers any singings about God, can only be the recipient of full identification with God.
भक्तिः परेशानुभवो विरक्तिः अन्यच्चैषत्रिक एककालः अन्यत्र चैषत्रिक एककालः प्रपद्यमानस्तु यथाश्नतः स्युः तुष्टिः पुष्टिः क्षुदपायोऽनुघासम्.
Meaning of the verse: as one who eats food feels with every morsel satisfied, gets nourishment and relief from hunger, similarly in him who has surrendered himself to God, 1. Devotion, 2. Realization of the Supreme God, and 3. Aversion to other objects. These 3 are evident qualities manifest at the same time. 605. Listen, O Emperor Janaka, where there is so great devotion, there, like a calf following its mother, apathy towards sense objects follows closely. 606. Another example is that if there are 2 fruits joined together as twins, they cannot be separated. Similarly, devotion and asceticism are bound together, and the devotee also becomes powerful because of them. 607. Where devotion and asceticism or desirelessness live together, there the fulfillment is serving like a maid. 8. So devotion is the most powerful thing in the 3 worlds. And when the 2 things, that is devotion and desirelessness, united, all things are available in the house of the devotee. They are coupled with self-realization. 609. Now I will explain to you the condition when these 3 things come into existence at one time. 610. The more and more the devotion is developed, the less and less becomes the desire for objects, and at the same time the devotee is nearer and nearer the state of self-realization. For example, if a full plate of best food is placed before a hungry man, he eats it and gets satisfaction, nutrition, and also appeasement of his hunger. 612. Each morsel reduces the pangs of hunger, the belly gradually becomes full, and his contentment is also complete. 613. Just as all these things take place together, similarly, devotion, desirelessness, and self-realization become evident simultaneously. 614. O king, you should be sure that if with real faith a person has devotion to God, all these things happen together. 615. Now, devotion means love towards all beings. Self-realization is direct experience of the self. That means tremendous inspiration of our identity with God. 606.
I think we can stop over here. It was becoming so sweet. I just lost the track of time also. It's so beautiful. Each verse, each OV is, uh, it's so heartwarming, and it is showing, I felt like a guidelines, what should be our path, how we should be, what we should cultivate. And it's always like this, no? When we are interacting with the Laukika world, if you do this, you get this. And it's like a carrot they show us that if you do, then you get. And then which tempts us or pumps in enthusiasm in us to do a certain thing. So now when Haraji is saying like this, it's all instantly happening with the devotion, desirelessness, and self-realization. So it's like a carrot that the ultimate happiness, what we are trying, and Maharaj is showing the path. So I love all the readings. And probably Radhakrishnanji's tone of reading was so soothing that the verses could be enjoyed very much. The verse that struck me was at the beginning itself. I think because I'm now in, don't have the book. It's 545. Let me just go back to that verse. So Lord's form, I felt. So this vision, we don't get this description. So when Bhagwan says, with the chakra, it's to crush the pride. With the gada, it is to kill the attachment or allurement. And with the conch, it is the awakening of self. And and the lotus flower in Bhagwan's hand, Bhagwan uses to worship the devotees. So I just loved that 545 and I related that what's the purpose of Bhagwan's Swarupa, where we can focus. I liked that. And I also went to Gita in that last somewhere towards, and let me, because today the book is not there in my, yes, in that 600 and 601. So it is exactly like our chapter 5, Shuni Chaivashva package. That was 60601. So again, Gita came into mind. And then towards the end, one more. Like that fulfillment to achieve. So that line also, like for a hungry man, what is needed? And after that, so something like that, when you are filled with the knowledge, then what else would you desire for? So these were a lovely takeaway for me. Please, somebody who has any other thoughts to express, any takeaways or any OV that attracted or relate, please tell.
Also, as you said, the verse 601 and similar things. What strikes me as well is the some words from Kaivalya Upanishad, which we talked about, which you talked about earlier. Sarva Bodhastamatmanam Sarva Bodhani Chatmani. So if we see ourselves in everywhere and everywhere in every beings in ourselves, that is something which a true devotee will develop later on. Of course. Yes.
Beautiful. Today's readings are so lovely, Ovis it is. Anybody else has any other view, any point to say, something that attracted? That like whatever ever, even a river or a mountain or even a grass where we can develop Bhagwan's body, it is rather than then our attitude towards anything that we see will change. So that was a very nice, the guidelines, what we should do, what we should think. And all that comes in Purusha Sukta and all, right? The Roma and this is his, the Taravasya Roma and all. So same thing it is said, the Darbha grass is like the hair and so beautiful. Excellent. Any other thoughts? Okay. Over to you, Radhakrishnanji, for the closing prayers.
Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Sri Krishna Pranamastu. Hari Om.
Oh, thank you, Radhakrishnanji. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Let's meet tomorrow again and revel in these beautiful Ovis. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Varsha ji.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Varsha ji. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Jayanti Ji. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Varsha ji.
Hari Om Ji. Thank you for joining.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you.